Have you ever wondered about the difference in dissociative systems when we talk about the role of protectors and persecutors? So let's talk about it. Misunderstood parts with vital purposes. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Michigan. So let's get into talking about the difference between persecutors and protectors in a dissociative system. Have you ever wondered why some dissociative identities seem angry, cruel, or even self destructive? Why would a system built to protect also contain parts that sabotage therapy, push people away, or even hurt the body they share? It's easy to label those parts as bad or dangerous, but what if I told you that those persecutors and aggressive protectors are actually vital to survival and to eventually healing? Today, we're going to unpack one of the most misunderstood dynamics in dissociative systems, the role of protectors and persecutors, and how even the harshest internal voices often carry the deepest pain and loyalty. So let's talk about understanding the internal system. When we talk about dissociative identities, we're talking about a mind that has been fragmented for survival. Every part, no matter how small, quiet, or intense, formed because at some point they were needed. Some parts hold the pain, some parts hold the memories, and some learn to protect the system by any means necessary. These protector parts often arise early, sometimes at the very moment the child realizes that no one is coming to help. They learn that safety might depend on control, silence, or aggression. Let's talk about the protector's dilemma. Protectors don't always look kind. Some appear angry, harsh, even cold. But underneath that intensity is often terror, the terror of being hurt again. So they build walls. They test people. They lash out first before anyone else can cause harm. It's their job to keep the system safe, even if that means sabotaging therapy, relationships, or their own healing. Because for them, safety doesn't mean closeness. Safety means control. And when we understand that, we stop trying to fight those parts and start listening to what they're trying to protect. Let's talk about the persecutor's paradox. Let's talk about the parts often called persecutors. These are the identities that might mimic abusers, repeat harmful messages, or act out in ways that seem cruel or destructive. But here's the paradox. Persecutors are not the enemy. They're survivors too. They often formed under extreme conditioning, taught that love equals obedience or that pain equals safety. Sometimes they internalize the abuser's voice because believing I'm bad felt safer than facing they hurt me for no reason. That's trauma loyalty. It's the psyche's way of staying attached to someone who was both terrifying and necessary for survival. So when a persecutor screams, criticizes, or threatens, it's not about cruelty. It's about keeping the system alive the only way that they know how. Let's talk about the path to healing. In therapy, one of the most powerful shifts happen when protectors and persecutors are invited to the table, not as problems to fix, but as parts to understand. Instead of saying you're dangerous, the therapist might say something like, I see you're trying to protect. What are you afraid would happen if you didn't? That's where real communication begins. Many systems find that these once feared parts carry immense wisdom. They remember where the danger was. They know how to survive, and when they're seen with compassion, they often transform into some of the strongest allies in healing. Let's talk about therapists and system collaboration. For therapists, this requires patience and humility. It means not labeling behavior as resistant, but seeing it as communication. It means regulating your own fear when a persecutory part appears because they can feel when a therapist is unsettled or judgmental. When treated with respect, these parts often reveal deep insight. They know the timeline of trauma, the hidden rules, the buried grief. And for the system, learning dialogue with them, internally or aloud, can begin to bridge the divide between survival and healing. So here's kind of a closing message when we talk about persecutory parts or protectors. So if you or someone you love lives with dissociative identities, try to remember this. Even the most frightening parts have a purpose. They're not evil. They're protective adaptations. Behind the anger, the threats, the control, there's pain, loyalty, love buried deep under years of survival. And once they're seen not as monsters, but as messengers, the entire system begins to heal. If this helped you understand dissociative identities on a deeper level, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and share it with others who want to learn about trauma through a compassionate, clinical lens. And if you're someone navigating these dynamics yourself, please know you are not your trauma and you are not alone. Every part of you has a reason and every part deserves safety. You're not broken, you're surviving, and you deserve to heal.